UK because Prime Minister Boris Johnson is under growing pressure over the sexual misconduct of one of his senior staff. Chris Pincher was Deputy Chief Whip in charge of party discipline. But Pincher has been engulfed by accusations of sexual misconduct. Downing Street admits Johnson was aware of media reports about Pincher's behaviour before he was appointed. Well, let's talk to Alistair Jones, the Associate Professor of Politics at Montfort University. Alistair, no one's ever heard of Chris Pincher, but just how damaging is this story for Boris Johnson?
Oh, it is hugely damaging. It's yet another thing. There's another MP who's been told not to turn up Parliament because of suggestions, allegations of rape. There's the two by-elections. It's just more and more and more things that are going wrong. And at the same time, Boris Johnson appears not to care. He's not bothered. Yes, OK, it's an arch-loyalist of his. Nobody will have heard of Chris Pincher before this scandal broke out. And if there's a by-election because he resigned as an MP, then nobody will hear of him in the future either. But it is this further thing of, oh, I didn't know anything about it, and suddenly, oh, yes, there were accusations. If there were accusations and speculation, and there had been a whole stream of it, even in the Theresa May government, Johnson should have done something more, and his own party is getting more angry with him as a result.
But it is useful deflection, isn't it? Because we're not talking directly about Boris Johnson and perhaps his behaviour.
No, we're not talking directly about his behaviour, absolutely. And there's been a lot of news going on about what he was doing when he was a Foreign Secretary. The issue becomes, though, the Tory party itself. On Wednesday of this week, there's going to be an announcement for the 1922 committee elections. And the speculation is that the anti-Johnson faction of the party, which is at least 40% of MPs, are going to stand candidates against everybody in the 1922 committee. If they win those elections, and the speculation is they will, they can reorganise another leadership election. And this is probably Johnson's biggest fear, his biggest worry, because if there's another leadership election, after having backed Chris Pincher and then seemed to be economical with the truth, these elections could see him being removed as party leader.
Well, we'll wait to see what happens on that. I want to ask you about the opposition leader, Labour's Keir Starmer, who in the last few hours has unveiled his party's plan on Brexit. Brexit is here to stay, it seems. Even if Labour wins the next election, Brexit is here to stay. How significant is this?
I think the thing with this is Keir Starmer can't say anything else. If he even suggests a faintest hint of a possibility that he might consider rejoining the single market, all hell will break loose in the right-wing media. He will be betraying the people, the will of the people. So at the moment, he has got to make the noises of, yes, we've got to make Brexit work. Now, what might happen is he said, he is committing to Labour, making it work. If he wins the general election, we stay out of the single market. But if he doesn't win the general election, and there's a coalition, then he's got that leeway to say, well, Brexit, the only way to make it work may be to rejoin the single market, rejoin the European Economic Area. So there is room for manoeuvre. But at the moment, there is no room for manoeuvre whatsoever. He's talked about closer ties, so mutual recognition of regulations, and that could actually be a stepping stone towards rejoining the single market. But there is no way between now and a general election that Labour will say anything else other than we want to make Brexit work. And the argument will be that the Conservative Party has failed to make Brexit work, and therefore Labour have got a plan to do otherwise, make it work properly.
Alistair, thanks for that. Professor Alistair Jones at Montfort University.